Hello and welcome back to Conspiracy Theory Review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Have you ever stopped to think about the secrets our government might be hiding from us? The top 10 shocking government conspiracies that you won't believe are real might just make you question everything you thought you knew. 10. Operation Northwoods. This was a plan proposed by the U.S. Department of Defense in 1962 to stage false flag attacks on American soil in order to justify a war with Cuba. Proposals included CIA operatives to commit acts of terrorism against civilian and military targets, creating a fabricated shoot-down of an Air Force fighter off the coast of Cuba, assassination of Cuban immigrants, sinking Cuban refugee boats on their way to the U.S., bombing targets in Miami and Washington, and blowing up a U.S. ship. The plan was never carried out only because JFK rejected it. The fact that it was even considered is chilling, much less authorized by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, signed by Chairman Lyman Lemnitzer, and sent to Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. Operation Northwoods was declassified and made public in November 1997. 9. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. From 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted a study on African American men in Alabama to observe the natural progression of untreated syphilis. The men were never told they had the disease and were denied treatment, even after penicillin became widely available. Over 100 of the 400 infected died as a result of the experiment. The experiment continued under multiple Public Health Service supervisors even after it lost funding. The experiment was finally terminated in 1972 only because a leak to the press brought it to the public's attention. By that time, 28 had died directly from syphilis, 100 from associated complications, 40 wives were infected, and 19 children were born with syphilis. These men were promised free medical care for their participation in the study, but were never informed they had syphilis. They were given placebos instead. So much for free healthcare. At 8, we have Project MKUltra. This was a CIA program beginning in 1953 and ending in 1973 that involved experiments on human subjects to develop mind control techniques. Subjects were given drugs like LSD without their consent, leading to psychological trauma and even death in some cases. The stated intent was to develop procedures and identify drugs to weaken people and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture during interrogations. Many methods were used, including psychoactive drugs like LSD, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. The program used U.S. and Canadian citizens as unwitting lab rats in more than 80 institutions, not including the military. 7. The Manhattan Project. During World War II, the U.S. government secretly developed the atomic bomb as part of the Manhattan Project. The project was kept classified until the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, leading to the end of the war but also causing widespread devastation and loss of life. Considering there were nearly 130,000 people employed at its peak, it cost nearly $2 billion, and they blew up an 18.6 to 21 kiloton portable star at White Sands Proving Ground. They did a pretty good job of keeping this a secret. 6 is Operation Paperclip. After World War II, the U.S. government secretly recruited over 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians, including former Nazis, to work for the United States. This allowed the U.S. to gain valuable knowledge and expertise in areas like rocket technology and aerospace engineering. Paperclip was, and still is, controversial because of the Nazi affiliations of many recruits and ethical consequences of their association with war crimes into American society. They managed to create a $10 billion value in industrial processes and patents, helped win the space race, and contributed in many scientific advancements. 5. The Iran-Contra affair. In the 1980s, the Reagan administration secretly sold weapons to Iran in exchange for the release of American hostages, using the proceeds to fund anti-communist rebels in Nicaragua. This scandal exposed the government's involvement in illegal arms deals, in violation of our own arms embargo, and covert operations. Iran sure manages to get around embargoes with the U.S., Seems there was an airplane load of cash then found its way there in more recent history. 4. We have Cointelpro. This was a series of covert FBI programs between 1956 and 1971 aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, and disrupting domestic political organizations deemed subversive. Targets included civil rights activists, anti-war protesters, Black Power, white supremacists, environmentalists, feminists, animal rights organizations, pro-Mexican American groups, Puerto Rican groups, and other dissenting voices. Seems like they were after groups refusing to bow down to the federal government. Seems this has continued as well with the weaponization of various three-letter agencies against organizations that refuse to lick the government's boots. History may not repeat itself, but does rhyme. Number 3, the Gulf of Tonkin incident. In 1964, the U.S. government claimed that North Vietnamese boats had attacked American warships in the Gulf of Tonkin, leading to the escalation of the Vietnam War. Declassified documents later revealed that the incident was fabricated as a pretext for military intervention. By fabrication, I mean did not happen at all. The NSA skewed intelligence to create the impression that an attack had occurred. I've probably been throwing too many three-letter agencies about in my videos. If I suddenly vanish, please note, no matter what the media tells you, like Epstein, I did not kill myself. What do you think? Leave a comment to let me know. Anyway, this incident was used as an excuse for the U.S. to take direct action in the Vietnam War, resulting in over 58,300 killed or MIA U.S. personnel. 2 is the Watergate Scandal. In 1972, 5 men were arrested for breaking into the DNC headquarters at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. The subsequent investigation uncovered a web of illegal activities orchestrated by the Nixon administration, including wiretapping, burglary, and obstruction of justice. Seems this was initiated by a bit of low self-image on Nixon's part, as it looked as if he was going to win the election and had no need to cheat, then had to resign after doing everything he could to impede the investigation. As noted in other videos, Watergate has become so synonymous with scandals that adding gate to a term denotes public scandals. Ethgate and Pizzagate, for example. At number 1, Area 51. This top-secret Air Force base in Nevada has long been the subject of conspiracy theories and speculation about extraterrestrial activity and government cover-ups. Part of Edwards Air Force Base, it is officially called Homey Airport, KXTA or XTA, or Groom Lake. It has also been referred to as Dreamland and Paradise Ranch. The CIA and USAF acquired the site in 1955 and finally acknowledged the existence of the base in 2013. Much of what goes on there remains classified and shrouded in secrecy. The Freedom of Information Act request was filed in 2005 concerning its mere existence. Yes, your remedial arithmetic is right. It took the CIA 8 years to say it exists. What are they not telling us? UFOs, aliens, alien spacecraft, U-2, spy plane, strategic reconnaissance aircraft, A-12, etc. These are just a few examples of the shocking government conspiracies that have been uncovered over the years. It makes you wonder what else might be hidden from the public eye. The truth may be stranger than fiction. Thank you for your support. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fun conspiracy content.